Hello students, welcome to the series on advertising. Today we are going to study unit 2 and in this we will cover media scheduling. Now let us first study the objective of this lecture. The basic objective is to study the scheduling and the timetable of how to place the advertisements in the media channels. Now first is let us study the concept of media scheduling. This is the company's focus on media timing. The objective is to get the maximum market response. It is a timetable or a schedule for showing ads through various channels. Now, the concept of scheduling focuses on as how to reach to the customers in such a way that it is the preferred time where they are attached to the channels. If you are telecasting your ads at 9 o'clock in the night, it is a time when most of the people are having dinner and the exposure of ad to the audience will be maximum. If we are reaching at a time which is somewhere 7 o'clock in the morning, it is not important that this time would be so special for the audiences also. So, we need to realize, because at this time most of the audiences are busy sleeping or walking in gardens or they are busy with their life activities. So, we need to decide the time as when to reach the audiences and as how to reach to the audiences, so that we get maximum response from the customers and the customers do accept us on this channel at a time in which they are comfortable. The components of media scheduling: time decision, it is when to advertising. Duration and space decision focuses on how much to advertise each time. Frequency to advertisement, number of times the ad is exposed through different media, and it is the yearly schedule through all the channels. So, what is important in scheduling? First is what will be the time when the ad should be floated in the market, what should be the duration of the ad, duration, that is it should be a lengthy ad or a short ad more frequently shown. So, the cost will come to same. How much time is required so as to make the ad effective in the minds of the customers. How important is that the customers can remember it. So, that duration has to be calculated, and the yearly schedule of the months and the events and the festivals which need to be covered. So, the schedule would decide the space, the time and the duration, that is important in scheduling. Now, the factors impacting the media timing, basically that demand is subject to seasons. Selection of effective time is important to save the cost, and the ads need to be reached effectively. Now, why do we need to schedule? Because there are some products which are very seasonal, and if you advertise them throughout the year, it is of no use, because you cannot use summer clothes in winter or winter products in summer. So, why do we need to advertise? Or there are some products which are used only in festivals like candles, crackers and sweets, which are eaten or which are consumed maximum in these seasons. So, if the products are specific to a particular season, they need to be advertised for those particular events and activities, so as to reach the audiences in a cost effective way. And if the products are not demanded, then it is not important to advertise, because we are going to increase our budget and we are also going to lose the importance and the concept of advertising, because if it is not important for audiences, they are not going to relate to us. Now, the types of schedule. First is we have macro scheduling, which basically helps in allocating advertising expenditures and frequency in relation to the season. It deals with the business cycle trends. Demand is fluctuating as per season and as per business cycle. Macro scheduling basically deals with allocation of resources in such a way that demand, when it is maximized or when the demand is at the peak level in a business cycle, then only the investments in advertisement should come. We need to deal with the business trends or the changing cycles, because if the demand is less, the advertisement also needs less investment or it needs less exposure to the audiences. If products are not desired by audiences, why do we need to advertise and waste our time and efforts? The admissions only happen in July. So, it is better for educational universities that they advertise their products and services in the months of May and June, so as to gather the students in such a way that they can make their batch. After making the batch, it is no use to advertise, because even if the students would attract, you have no vacancy or you cannot customize that product according to each student's demand. So, we have certain constraints when we sell services, when we create batches, when we design workshops, when we float sports events, or when we float any other activity or function or a gala music night. It is important that we have a schedule and we have a batch. So, when you invest in this concept of advertising, it is only required to reach the audiences at that particular time. The areas of concern relate to the timing of advertising and consumer awareness. The consumer awareness impacts the sales. Sales and advertising expenditures are closely related. So, timing of advertisement becomes important in terms as to when the products are needed and how much the products are needed in a particular season. The consumer's awareness needs to be created in those particular seasons when they need to be concerned about that particular requirement. The sales will crystallize only in those months. So, when we record the advertisement at a level which will bring attraction, would work in market. So, we have to relate the ads to the seasons, we have to relate the ads to the events, we have to relate the ads to the special trends happening in the markets like holidays, we have special events happening in the seasons, and we have special activities which people indulge. So, if we draw this kind of calendar of the audiences and try to reach the audiences in a focused and an accurate way, it will be a strategy to save cost and it will be a strategy to connect with the customers in an effective way. The micro scheduling is allocating advertising expenditure and frequency within a short period to obtain maximum response or impact. So, macro scheduling relates to the business cycles and the trends prevailing in the market, but when we do micro scheduling, we relate to the expenditures which the audiences are doing in their daily schedules, and also to customize our advertisements to a specific group of audiences who get interested in special activities of that particular local area and local regions. Now, let us study continuous scheduling. It involves advertising messages evenly floated throughout a given period. A continuous media schedule runs steadily with little variation. Schedule remains constant throughout the period of a campaign or all year long. So, when you focus on continuous scheduling, it is constant throughout the year. This is possible only for the products which are demanded evenly, and this is possible for fast moving consumer products which are used on daily basis. Advertisements do not change because these products are not related to festivals or seasons, they are related to your life habits and a part of a consumption as you get up in the morning, like eating bread, butter, brushing your teeth and using products for your daily habits. So, this continuous scheduling of advertisement would make the brands more live and more alive in the markets to work well with the customers. Continuous schedule works best for non-seasonal products, services such as toilet papers and hair salons. Consumers must be continuously reminded and reinforced. This can be cost efficient and you get large media buying discounts also. When we believe in continuous scheduling of advertisement, It is important to focus on products which are a part of our daily life, like beauty salons, toilet papers, bathroom accessories, or anything which basically focuses on lifestyle of people. This kind of scheduling becomes cost effective because you are buying large media space on yearly basis. So, you get good discounts to focus on creative advertisement which is innovative to attract the customers to this platform. The products are non-seasonal, continuous, and the demand is not fluctuating. It is a constant demand needed to live your daily life. Now is the concentrated scheduling. The concentrated scheduling focuses on all advertisements in a single period, spending entire advertising budget within one flight. This product is sold in one season, event, festival or holiday. The concentrated scheduling focuses on activities like World Cup match, or it is to sell hotel spaces in holidays, or it is to book tickets for New Year, or it is to sell Diwali festival tickets. So, this advertising is concentrated only on a seasonal basis, or maybe it is very specific in terms to sell the tickets for one day. Entire advertising has to focus for this particular event. So, the entire budget like for IPL matches has to be spent for 1 or 2 months when the events are being telecasted to TV. After the match is over, nobody is interested because enthusiasm has faded. So, we need to focus on a plan which is concentrated, and the message has to relate to people who are involved in the season. So, this advertising is costly in terms because the entire budget has to be special. Media spaces has to be purchased in a way when it is peak, and also you cannot discount because your urgency is there. This is a flooded time where all investors and all sponsors are coming. So, you need to pay heavily for this kind of scheduling. Then is fighting scheduling for advertising. This scheduling involves giving advertisements at specific intervals. Company advertise for some period followed by break or no advertisement. Fighting scheduling is to save cost. You invest in advertisements for some periods when the seasons are there or when the advertisements are cheap for people. When the space is costly, the company will not give any advertisement. So, by this they can save the cost by reaching to the audiences at alternative schedules or alternative periods. Seasonality and funds. Company with seasonal, cyclic or infrequently purchased products followed such scheduling. Company with a limited fund prefers to advertise during a specific season or festivals only. Scheduling saves time during the off months also. So, when this kind of schedule, that is fighting mode of advertisement, is applicable, or it is this platform is chosen, the companies are interested in saving their money to advertise products when they are not demanded in heavy quantities. So, less advertisement will be invested, and when we try to expose the audiences to particular products when they are consumed in heavy quantities or in heavy sizes, then it would be important that we focus on a budget which is more or which is related to give you a schedule which confirms the purchase of the product. So, if there is definite purchase of the products in certain seasons, it is important that companies focus on advertising investments. Then is pulsing scheduling of advertising. It is combination of both continuous and fighting advertising schedules. It includes continuous advertising at low weight level and reinforced periodically by waves of heavier activity. Now, pulsing scheduling would be combination of both, that is continuous advertising given at a low weight and fighting advertisement given at a schedules which are concentrated in particular seasons and in particular activity based events. So, we basically try to allocate our budget and resources in such a way that we reach to the audiences, but with a low frequency in off seasons, that is we are in a continuous mode of remembering them and reinforcing our brand, that the brand is alive and is working for the welfare of the audiences. But we become aggressive in seasons when the products are demanded in a heavy range. So, here the weight of the advertisement would be increased and the cost will be more, so as to reach in a high frequent way. So, this is the combination and planning of advertising schedules in such a way which saves cost for the company and also tries to crystallize the goals to reach the audiences in a connected way. Now, certain portion of advertising fund is invested for continuous advertising and the remaining fund is invested for fighting advertisements. All big companies do not take the risk of not communicating with the customers. If you are absent from the platform, you are absent from the minds of the customers. To revive the brand name again becomes difficult. So, most of the companies would choose the combination of both, being continuously at a softer level and being aggressive at seasonal level. So, investing in advertisement continuously with less frequency will allow the customers to remember the brands at a pace which is important. To aggressively create the demand becomes important when the product is heavily used in the market. So, we have to be constantly in touch with the customers. If you are not communicating with the customers, the risk is there the customers will forget and switch to some other brand which is more closer to them. To get in a connection and to build emotional bonding with the customers, it is important that we balance the budgeting and we balance the scheduling of the advertisements in such a way so as to be a kind of a trusty brand in the market. Now, let us study the factors affecting scheduling. The first factor which is important in deciding the scheduling is the buyer turnover. This is the rate at which new customers enter the market. Higher is the rate of buyer turnover. Focus has to be on continuous scheduling. What is buyer turnover? That if every day you are creating new customers for your brand, the turnover is high. That means you constantly need to remember the customers that this brand is giving services to the people. This is important for new product launches, new service creative, innovative designs created by most of the lifestyle companies. Here we sell the product in such a way that we need additions of customers every day. So, when we add customers every day, we need to increase the target audiences, and when you need to increase the target audience, you need to be in a continuous scheduling pattern so as to advertise and connect with the customers in an empowered way. Purchase frequency. Number of times during specific period that the average buyer buys the product. Higher is the purchase frequency, the focus is on continuous scheduling. If the purchase frequency for a product is high, that is if you are purchasing the product for 2 times a day, that is you are consuming eatables or you are consuming food items in terms of bread, in terms of milk, cold drinks or any other product which focuses on high frequency of buying. So, we need to build a scheduling which is based on continuous advertising, because the frequency of purchase is high. So, we need to make the customers remember that the products are important for their life and how the companies are conscious about their health and how they are conscious about the quality. We need to state, we need to make them remember. Here a connection which is created from continuous advertising schedule will go a longer way in managing the credibility of brand, and it would also manage trusted relationship which is customized solution given to the customers. So, continuous scheduling is important when the purchase frequency for the products is very high. Forgetting rate, the rate at which the buyer forgets the brand. Higher is the forgetting rate, higher is the focus on continuous scheduling. Now, the forgetting rate will be higher for brands where the competition is high and where the brands have been not able to establish their niche in the market. So, if there are a lot of competitors in the market, the customers would forget the brands, because there are many hotels which are giving you better services, better ambiences and better quality of services. So, in entertainment industry, in fast moving FMCG products and in other daily life products, when the competition is high, obviously the customers forget the brands in an easy way. But then there are brands which are very popular in terms of giving status, in terms of designing their elite career and their professional lives in such a way that they segment themselves to a class. We have car brands, we have lifestyle brands, like we have Gucci, we have Louis Vuitton, we have Mercedes. These brands basically have reached a level where they are not in a position where customers forget, because they are related to the status and the lifestyle of the people. So, here the advertisement can be less, because customers already are advertising through their word of mouth, and they are creating a platform on social media where they are writing about the brands, the innovations, the designs and about their personalities and their profiles. So, for these brands it is easy that they, even if they are not investing in advertisements in a heavy way, the customers are remembering them. Zara is a brand which is not investing heavily on advertisements. They invest heavily on high and costly locations, that is, they open their stores in posh locations. So, the customers when buy their products, they put their selfies and they make the clothes viral through social platforms. So, going to posh locations, going to costly locations itself carries the message for the customers that these brands relate to a profile which carries an image and a status. So, different companies have different levels of investors and different level of activities related to the lifestyle of the people. The brand also needs to be matured, they also grow up with the audiences. So, what is the growth of the brand, what is the growth of the company and what is the competition would also decide the scheduling aspects in terms of media planning. Now, the financial condition of the company also impacts media scheduling. It is the ability of a company to spend for advertisement. More is the ability to spend, so the focus will be on continuous scheduling. If the company is rich and the company is highly profitable and it is not concerned about the advertising expenditures, it will focus on continuous scheduling, because to revive a brand is to grow with the media. As media platforms are important, so the brand life is important. So, there are many rich companies who through some way or the other focus on creating connections with the customers. They do not work on breaking their schedules, they do not work on concentrated schedule, but they heavily invest in advertising so as to reach to the customers. The level of competition. If the company is facing a severe market competition, then you have to focus on continuous scheduling. Even if the products are seasonal, but if the competition is high, that is, there are more players in the market, companies need to focus, because if a product is remembered in off season, it would be purchased in seasonal basis. So, we need to decide what is your level of growth and how you are faced by your competitors. If there is a large segment of players in the market, we need to focus on continuous scheduling of your advertisements so as to reach to the customers. Now, the factors affecting scheduling relates to the sales trends of the company, the product availability in the market. It also depends upon the marketing objectives, the nature of the product, the advertising objectives, the budgets, the type of the target customers, distribution channels and the marketing factors. Scheduling of advertisements for various companies depends on the budgets of the company, also depends on the nature of the product and the services, the kind of the maturity of the audiences, who is the target market, the power of the distribution channel, what advertisement wants to create for the audiences, that is the objectives of the ad itself and also the marketing objectives of the company. So, there is a interplay of lot many complexities of various factors put together when you decide a schedule and a timetable for a advertisement to be disseminated to the audiences through various vehicles. How do we carry ads to the audiences is an interplay of many factors. It is very innovative. It is not based only on one factor. Even if the product is seasonal, then also companies need to advertise throughout the year so as to make their brands very popular and make the brands to earn a life and a status which takes years to build credibility. Now, let us study the summary of this lecture. Media scheduling can bring profits to the company if timing of advertisements is accurately designed. The branding of the company can be made powerful if people give advertisements at right platforms on right time. Scheduling is all about the timetable as to how the ads have to be disseminated to the audiences. It is to decide a schedule in a cost effective way and in a way where the platforms chosen are right. So, I hope the students must have understood how scheduling can be very effective if advertisement is designed in a powerful way through a good channel. Thank you, students.